Danny Bradbury, and welcome to your World of Reg, the part of the register where the people get to speak. And speak they most certainly do. One of our most vocal commentators is sysadmin Trevor, who generally has an itch to scratch. He's here today, and I, for one, am interested in where he's itching this week.
Today I would like to talk about mission-critical applications. What really is mission-critical? How do you deal with it? And what do different people perhaps mean when they mention it? One example is the concept of highly available. A lot of people will talk about highly available in terms of the number of nines that you have of uptime. How much downtime do you allow? And is any downtime allowable? No downtime is a completely impossible goal. Even Google can't manage it. And given the amount of technical resources that they have, if Google can't do it, nobody can. So some downtime has to occur. For many companies, this actually isn't a problem. The question is, can you schedule that downtime? Are there periods where it's okay if your website goes off the air for a few hours? Do your customers care so long as they have warning? And what about internal systems? Your manager may want that accounting server up, absolutely without fail, never going down within business hours. But outside of business hours, are they okay with it going down for maintenance? Do you have people who are remoting into your network from outside, working from home at odd hours of the day? Is it acceptable within your company policies to schedule outages so that those people who are remote working just can't remote work that Friday night? These are the differences that I find in the term mission-critical computing and how it's actually applied in the real world.
All I hear from vendors and consultants and customers alike these days is that IT is being held more accountable by the user base than ever before, and that there really isn't any tolerance these days for some of the mistakes or some of the problems that IT would suffer and expose customers to in the past. So how do you couch what you've just said and work out that relationship with them where you've got that leeway?
Well, this is where I hide behind the salesperson. But when my boss comes to me and asks me for something that probably is impossible, I've learned to just say no. It can't be done. And you can look elsewhere. But anybody who promises you that it can be done is lying. And I will tell him what can be done with the time and the budget that's available. And if we threw this much more budget or this much more time at it, this can be done. And with that information, with the honest truth, it's amazing what a proper sales guy can do. And I have found personally that our customers appreciate it a lot more. They appreciate the honesty. Everything that they're being fed from all over the place is promises that they know nobody's ever going to keep. To come at them and say, this is the reality of it, and this is probably what we can do with the best effort, I find people appreciate it. I think that for too long, IT departments have been afraid to say no. And in an era where IT departments are being held more and more accountable for everything, what you're going to start hearing more often from them is no.
That said then, how do you concentrate your resources on the areas that you know are really important to customers? How do you take a budget and carve it up so that you can perhaps add more budget to systems that you know really do need higher availability than the others? And how do you negotiate that with the various line of business departments that you're going to need to deal with?
Well, this is where you really get into, I guess, more of the hardware side of things. It all comes back to that question of what really are your needs. Providing something over the web, providing something that is available to customers remotely tends to need a higher percentage of uptime than an internal service to a company that might have staff only working 16 hours a day. So I can throw some not quite highly available hardware, not quite triple nines, quadruple nines class hardware internally to run the accounting server or run one of the internal file servers and redirect the budget we might have spent making some executive somewhere absolutely happy with his always online accounting paranoia, we can redirect that money towards a good set of web servers. Maybe hosting some of this on our side, hosting some of it on Amazon, and hosting some of it on Rackspace, and getting a proper DNS that will move stuff around between them. It's not so much a question of managing the downtime as it is managing the expectations. For example, fault-tolerant servers. You could pretty much pull any chunk of this server out, and it'll keep ticking. Now, if I were to go out today and I were to buy a brand new server for one of my branch offices, I could probably collapse 5 of my current attempts at making a highly available system down into this one fault-tolerant server on one of these sites. They offer enough of a warranty and enough of a guarantee, and common backup technologies would make it feasible to deploy this one fairly cheap, fairly reliable server out there and basically not have to worry about it. So then now I don't have to worry about having a NAS and having all of these front-ended VM servers and all of the rest of the stuff that we do today for high availability. And I can bring all of that technology and that budget and that management time back to the head office, back to the central data center, where I am hosting out all of this stuff to my customers. And that branch office has a reasonably reliable system that if it goes down, maybe it's down for a maximum of 6 hours. It sucks, but the chances of it going down are fairly slim. It's a little bit of risk management, and that budget can then be redirected.
So there you have it. Admit that you can't do it all, and that you're okay with that. Put your money where it's going to do the most good. Thanks a lot, Trevor, for those useful insights. Hopefully we'll have you back soon.